Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel Neural with Mohit. You must have used large language models in your life. Nowadays, we are using it in our day-to-day life, right? We all have used ChatGPT, for example, right? And we can see that these models are really good in having a good conversation. But what we feel as a developer is we do not want to limit ourselves to just using such tools and such platform. We also want to build such platforms where we can actually use some of the free LLMs available, and we want to, actually bring it to our application, and we want to be like, "Hey, let's develop something with this LLM, correct? So how we can do that is one question. And for any new, for anybody who is actually new to AI, this is actually a really big question. And they do not understand that how and what and where to learn. Correct. Now, this is a very big question in generative AI because the field is so vast. So what I thought is, why not let's do one thing. Let's bring hands-on experiences on the day-to-day things that as a developer we use in our projects. So one such thing is using a large language model with the Python programming language. Okay, now there are two ways of using a large language model. Number one is where you can download the model local to your machine, and then you can use that model, directly interact with the model, and use it. But the biggest problem with that is that most of these large language models are really resource intensive models. They require a very high resource for that to run. So, you might need a really good machine for this model to perform better. Another way is there are different options available over the internet, which actually helps you to use these models, and they provide you all the infrastructure to run it. Yes, they do come with different rate limits, but for our practice purpose, I feel like they are good starting point. And once you have the understanding, once you know, then what you can do is you can actually download it and use it for local also. So today, what we are going to learn is we are going to learn how we can use a large language model with our Python programming and build an application around that where we can do, kind of small chat with the LLM, but not downloading it on our local, but using some service which is provided by some third party. So one such third party is Groq. So let us understand Groq right now. So this is Groq, and when you will open this, it will first ask you to, sign in with like any of your Google SSO or something. You can do that. You can actually sign in with your Google account here. That's the same thing I have also done. Right. And after you sign in over here, then you will see a welcome page. And what I did is I actually clicked on the docs, and right now I'm on the doc page. So this is the documentation of how I can use Grok in my programming language. Okay. So now what you need to do here and what you will find here. So when you will come over here, you will see that, to first of all, to install Grok, because it must not be installed in your machine, I believe. If it is installed, well and good. If not installed, then what you can do is you can use pip install Grok. So what it will do is it will install the Grok for you. What I will show you is I will show you with UV because I use UV. Basically, I'll create a virtual environment, and then I will use that virtual environment and create the like whatever dependencies are required. I will install those dependencies then and there, and we will use those items. Okay. Now let's first understand this. So what you will be doing is you will be installing the Grok. After you have installed the Grok, then what you need is to run the Grok in your machine, you first need the API key. Okay, so now from where do we get the API keys? One question. So you will see over here the API keys. So you can come over here, and what you can do is you can create on this create API key. You can give it some name, and then you will be able to create an API key. I have already created the API key, which is for the practice purpose only. So what I will be doing is I will be using this particular API key only for our interaction. Okay, now let's come back down over here. So now what you will see is first you will be creating the client for the Grok. Now the Grok client is the one which will be enabling you to use different models in your program, and then you will be able to chat with them, right? So here, if you will notice, what they are doing is they are using LLaMA 3.3 70 billion versatile model, right? And this is a very good model that can give you very generic experience, and the generative part of this model is really good when you chat with it, right? So what you will be doing is you will be coming over here, you will be doing the like calling it the client, then you will be saying that, I want to do chatting with this. Then you will be like, you want to completion, then create something, right? So in the create, you will see we have used messages over here, right? So you have a role over here, which is like user. So whenever you mention something under the user, what it is treated as a query from your end. And then the model tries to answer that query, right? You can also set a tone before this. So like this is one role for you, which is user. Similarly, there is a role called system, where what you can do is you can set a tone for this message. You can set the instructions for the message. Like the instructions could be that always greet me before, responding, or kind of anything like that, right? So whatever instruction you will be setting over there, the model will be using the same instruction, which is generating response for you. Okay. So let's understand this thing first. So here what we are doing is we are creating the list of the messages. So it's an array you can see over here. And then you can see they have defined a role. So as we just discussed, the role user means that you are going to put a query to the model, and whatever you are going to write over here will be treated as a query, right? And then you will write a content over here. Content means what is the query from your side. And then see, they have written a query like explain the importance of the fast language model, correct? And then you will define that which model do you want to use. Now, the second question that could come to your mind is what all models are available? How do I know that this is the name of the model, right? So if you will come over here, and if you will come down, you will see models over here. See, you can see this models over here, right? So if you will click on this, what you will see is this page. And on this page, you will see the production models. You will also see the preview models which are available, and you can use any of these, right? So let's come to the production model, and you have seen there they are using the LLaMA 3.3 70 billion versatile model, which you can see over here, right? It also gives you other information. The other information could be like what is the context window for this. Now, for anybody new to AI, the context window is the amount of token that a model can take to process your information, right? If you give beyond that, the model won't be able to see all the information. It will be using only the amount of information that is available to, like that fits in its content window. Okay. Now, let us come to this max completion. So again, it is telling you that how many max completion tokens will be there, and file size and all is not there. And if you want to know any more about this, you can go to these details. Right? For you, the main part would be this particular thing. You are anyways going to do the practice for this, so you do not need a lot of this. You will be like I would say start slow, so you can, start giving some small queries and start getting the output. And once you understand that, then you can actually build an application which is much more optimized on the tokens part as also. Okay, so we will also be using the same model when we will be building our application. Okay, now let's come to the coding part, and let's start the coding. Okay, so as we have discussed, let's now start and learn the model, like how we can use it. So, right, so we are over here on the Visual Studio screen. And as I said, that what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the UV from my side. So if you don't have the UV, what you can do is you can say pip install UV, and it will install the UV for you, right? I already have that installed. So like you can see that I have the UV version 0.8.24 installed in my machine. So what I will be doing first is I will be saying UV init, right? So the moment I will say UV init, so what you must have noticed over here that it has initialized the project for me. And whenever you initialize the UV project, you will get a TOML file over here, and the TOML file will contain all the dependencies that we will add to this particular project, right? I need to do one more thing, which is like UV venv and then I'm giving the name to my virtual environment, which is .venv. Right. So the moment I will do this, you will notice over here that we have a virtual environment created over here. Okay. And now to activate this virtual environment, what you need to do is you need to run this particular command. Right. So you must see that right now it is saying that I'm on the base. The moment I will do this, you will see that now I am on the venv virtual environment. Right. Let's clear this up. Okay, so I'm on this now, and what we want to do now is we want to actually use this particular UV environment to add things, right? So let's suppose I would say UV add Groq. So in UV to add anything in your virtual environment, you have to write UV and then add and then that library name, right? So we have added Groq over here, and you can see in the dependencies the Groq is added, and it is saying that it is going to use 0.32 dot zero, right? Okay. And do I need anything else? I may need dot env, and I may also need rich. Okay, so I have added these two as well. Now .env will be for me to create my environment file, and rich is mainly, I'll be getting the response from the model in the markdown. So I will be passing those markdown using the rich. Okay, great. So we have this thing over here. We have our virtual environment setup done. Right, now let's come over here on the main. Okay, so we have our like UV installed and we have everything in place. So now what we will be saying is we will be saying that from Groq import Groq, right? Now what might be noticing over here is currently it is saying that it is using the minforge over here. So what I can do is I can actually select my virtual environment, which is so I have just clicked over here and I have said that from this current select the virtual environment. You can instead of this, if you want, you can also say Command Shift P, and then here you can do Python select interpreter, and the interpreter you can select this. If you do not see this, then you can say enter interpreter path. And when you click on this, then you can browse and actually go to that location and select that. On Mac, you by default dot folders are not visible. So what you need to do is you need to say uh, Command Shift dot. Then you will be able to see the hidden folders also. And from here, you will go here. You will go inside bin, and from the bin, you will be selecting the Python. Okay. Now, since for me it is already there, so I don't need to do this. Good. Okay. So now the second thing that we have seen is we need to also create one env file. So I'll be creating dot env. So this is an environment file. And here I will be creating my Groq API key equal to. Now here I have to give my key value, right? So what I will do is I will stop the recording right now, add the key, and then go to the main file, right? Okay, so now I am here again on the main file, and we have already added the Groq key. We also need dot env import load.env. Now, why do we need this load.env? It actually helps us load the the env file. Okay. And after I load this env, what I can do is I can say that, I want my Groq key, let's suppose, and for this I would also need import OS. Okay, so after we have after we have loaded the environment, then what we will be doing is we'll be saying environment, and then we will be saying get, right? And after this, we will be giving our key name. So the key name that I have given was this, right? So this is the same key name I will be giving over here. And after this, what we will be doing is we'll be using our client now. So we'll be creating our client basically. So I'll say basically I have this habit of adding the name of the client first. So I'll be saying Groq client, and here I'll be saying Groq, right? And here, if you will notice, it requires one API key, right? So I'll say API key is equal to right? Now, after doing this, my client is now ready. So what I can do is I can actually chat with my client at this point, right? So what I'll be saying now is chat result is equal to my Groq client, correct? So I'll be saying Groq client, and then we have seen it required chat, and then it requires the completion, right? And after that, what we need is completions and then create. Okay. So in the create, what you need to do is you need to give a few things. Number one will be like what will be the model. So I'll say that my model is equal to, and you can see like it is giving you the options here itself, right? So I can say that I need this model. Okay, and then second that I will be needing is my messages. Right, so messages is an array. So you will be coming over here, and first what you will be doing is you will be saying that what will be the role here, right? So let's suppose role, and I'll say first the role is system. Okay, so I'll say system that this is the role, and what we need to do is, sorry, one mistake over here is that we have to put this under this. Okay, yeah. So role is system, and then the second is content. And now in the content, I can give any instruction. The instruction could be like, my name is Mohit. Always address me with my name whenever you are responding to my queries, right? So this is the instruction that I've given it. And like now what we have to do is we have to give our user query. So let's suppose the role, and then the role will be, let's suppose here the user will be the role, and second will be the content. And now I'll be giving the content uh, like I can say explain me transformers, right? Now, transformers is a very important, like, is one of the backbone for all the large language models that you see nowadays, right? So, I just asked it to explain me this transformer. So, what it will be doing is it will be explaining me the transformer for me. So, here what I can say is I can just simply say that. In this, right? So now I said that I'm using UV. So what I will be saying over here is I'll be saying UV run and then my main file. So let's see what will be the result over here. Okay, so we are getting an error. The error says that message discriminator role has invalid type. Okay, so there is a role we have that is actually not defined. Okay, sorry, is a typo because of which you have seen it. And see, one of the most important thing is this also, like, unless and until you do not understand how to read the errors, you won't be able to do a good programming also, right? So you have to read the error because most of the time the error will give you the clear idea that what is wrong in the program, right? And now what I'm doing is I'm running this, and now you can see that we have this response at our end. Okay, so now if I'll see this response, you will see that it has a chat completion object, right? And in the chat completion object, you will see that it is giving you some idea, and then there are choices, and in the choices, you will see that this choices is an array, right? And in this choices array also, you will see a message, and the message is the message where it is replying to the particular message that we have asked, right? So basically, when you actually print this, you do not print it directly. So what you need to do is you need to actually use the full syntax over here. So as I'll say choices, I'll say zero, right? And then what it requires is message, right? And then in that we have the content. Now this is my complete thing to print over. Now if I'll do this, so what you will see now is a proper response from the LLM, and it is explaining you. Mohit, transformers are type of neural network architecture introduced in the paper Attention is All You Need by Vashwani in 2017, blah, blah, blah. And then you can see the complete description of that particular thing, right? Okay. And as you can see that, I have given it the instruction that always use my name. My name is Mohit, so it is using Mohit over here. And you see, whenever it is addressing something, it is always addressing it with my name in the same message also wherever required, right? Because that is one of the instructions I've given. Now, let's suppose I want to, increase this instruction saying, explain me uh, briefly, do not add too much of details. Okay. Like I can say like this that explain me briefly and do not add too much of details. And if you see that this is getting way bigger, so what we can do is I can do this and this, right? And wherever required, what I can do is I can actually break the line, right? So that it is more readable. Okay, I'll just clear the screen again and I'll run it again. And this time what you will see is it is going to explain me very briefly. Transformers are type of robot that can change their shape and form. Oh, now it is actually telling me about the Transformers, which is the movie, right? So let me just clearly ask what is Transformers in generative AI? Right. So see, this is one of the thing as well that that model has very vast knowledge, right? So it tries and gets the information from wherever needed. So now, if you see, I have clearly given the proper context because my prompt was not, very great and it was not self-explanatory. But at this point, I am able to point it also that which transformer am I talking about? Am I talking about the Transformers movie? Or I'm talking about the transformers and generative AI. So this time transformers are the type of neural network architecture used in generative AI. They are mainly used for natural language processing tasks like text generation and translation. Transformers help AI models understand and generate human-like language by focusing on relationship between words and sentence. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I really hope that this will make it easy for you to use the large language models in your application. If you have liked this video, I would request you to please give a like on YouTube. Share this with your friends so that they will also learn, how to use the large language models using Groq. And please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.